Hey Bamir, this is the first video of a series. I will be explaining how I got over 2000 divines in less than a week. So as you can see here, I have 1500 divines and I have a Mirror of Kalandra, which are going for around 900 divines, 890 divines right now. As you can see, this is way over 2000 divines, and I'll try to explain how I got this. The reason why I'm making this into a series instead of a single video is that there will be a lot of stuff, and I feel like there's too much information to be in a single video, so I will be cutting those videos into different parts instead. Alright, so the first part of this series will be about the Atlas. So I'll show you what I'm using right now. So this is what I'm using, and I'll try to explain briefly what uh, nodes I picked and why I picked them. So this is a boss rush strategy. So what we're trying to do is get to the boss as fast as possible, kill the boss, and rinse and repeat to another map and over and over. And the reason we're doing that for two reasons. First off, we have a Conquered Conquerors, a Remnant of the Past, and Vivid Memories, and all the points for the invitation drops, increased chance for invitation drops. So whenever we kill the boss, we have a chance at a conquered map, at a elder or shaper map, a synthesized map. This is including Cortex and then all the invitations. And we have a 10% chance to double the progression onto the Searing Exarch. So we're running it with the Searing Exarch progression, right? And the reason why we're using Searing Exarch instead of Ether World is that the invitation for Searing Exarch is worth around 3 divines. So on average, every 26 maps will drop us a Searing Exarch invitation. All right. So now what else are we doing? So we picked up every single node that has map drop duplication. So here, if you right to go with those maps, and then the other mechanics we're using are Delirium and Heist. And the reason we're doing those is that they do not require any attention. Pretty much, Heist, you just click on the cache and pick up the stuff. So there will be a video about Heist and how to profit from it. But what I like to do is pick up the Deception contracts and all the blueprints. Those blueprints are super important. You can pick up the rogue markers too. The way I set it right now is that they only show up if they drop 500 or more rogue markers, but it all depends on what you are aiming for. And so we are running the Mirror of Delirium, and this is the exception to the rule of getting to the boss ASAP. Whenever we see a Mirror of Delirium into our map, we are trying to get at least 5 rewards, so the level 5 rewards. And the reason why we are doing this is that we have a high chance when we have 5 rewards to get Delirium orbs. And right now, Delirium orbs are sold for 5 or 4 to 5 Delirium orbs per divine, depending on the quantity and the time of the day. So they're super rewarding, and whenever you get to 5 rewards, you can get up to 3 Delirium orbs. So if you make a quick math, it's between like 3/4 of a divine to 60% of a divine, right? So, but on average, it drops 2, so it can go from 1, 2, or 3. But yeah, so this is what we're going for, and yeah, pretty much this is where our currency comes from. And now I'll show you a map showcase. As you can see here, it goes pretty fast. It can be as fast as 10 seconds, depending on your build, of course. But it shouldn't take time when you don't have the Delirium mirror. Okay, now what do we do when we get the Mirror of Delirium? We want to get to 5 rewards and kill as many mobs as possible on our way to the boss. And once we have 5 reward, we can just kill the boss and roll the dice on the loot from Delirium. As you can see, Delirium maps are a bit longer, but they're usually worth it because they gives you Simulacrum, which adds up, of course, but the most important part is the Delirium Orb. As you can see here, we drop one. Alright, so we went over normal maps, bus rushing, Delirium maps, and then we will check heist. So the most important nodes are this one. So smuggler caches in your maps have 100% increased chance to drop blueprints, and blueprints that drop in your maps have 10% chance to be fully revealed. Fully revealed means every single reward and all the wings are revealed. So those usually go for around 2 divines, depending on how many wings there are. And just the blueprints, I'll show in another video what to do with them. But and then here we have smugglers caches, have a 10% chance to contain a blueprint for each smuggler cache open. And sometime with this node, you will get 6 additional smugglers caches, so you can get 7 caches. Well, whenever this hits, make sure you go around the whole map. So if you see 2 or more caches when you're running to the boss, make sure you get the whole map because it's super worth picking up. So we have some more, like here, we have this. We do not pick the others. Aside of that, we have every single map drop duplication node. We have some quantity ones, and yeah, it doesn't really matter. You can add up whatever you feel like, as long as you're rushing. That node is super cool to get more Delirium mirrors, but if you want to use Scarabs, make sure you allocate it. But for my strategy, I'm not using any Scarabs, so I'm zooming through it. The other thing is we picked up a shrine and increase shrine and gets a random shrine effect. Just borrow powers, so it's pretty much easier to get your maps done faster, especially if your build isn't the best. Like mine, I'm still on my gear from like day 1 mostly. This was my league starter. Alright, now for the second part of this, which is the most rewarding one, is actually running the maps you picked up, like bit of the Chimera, Hydra, whatever, like Guardian of Elder, Shaper Guardian, and Cyrus Guardian. Running those maps under Maven influence, right? And trying to get the invitation. If it doesn't drop while you're running the maps, just buy one. But usually I would say 80% of the time when you run a full 4 maps for under Maven, you get the invitation. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes you will get a random invitation that's not the one you're looking for. But yeah, if you run all 3 of those, it will make you a bunch of currency. And I'll show you some of the drops you get from the invitation themselves. If your build cannot handle the Guardian maps or the invitation just yet, just run the first strategy over and over and over until you get enough currency to get your build to a point where it's easy for you to run the invitation. It doesn't really matter if you die unless you want to keep your EXP. As you can see in this invitation, I will die, but it's okay because I don't have any EXP right now. But yeah, the loot is mostly Crescent Splinters, so the splinters for the Maven invitation, pretty much, the Maven's Writ. And as you can see here, I died. Fine. And yeah, you want to make sure you have a lot of damage though, because you don't want to be here for like 10 minutes trying to kite everything. 6 Crescent Splinters. Sometimes you will get some Awakened Gems, but it's not the best one. Like you will not see any Awakened Fork or Multi-Strike or Greater Projectile, stuff like that. And of course, Awaken, Enlighten, and Empower are reserved for Maven. So, but sometimes you get some cool ones. The Maven Writ sells for 3.1 Divine right now, but if you sell them in bulk instead, they sell for around 3.5 Divines when you have 10 plus. It's worth noting that the invitation often drops a lot of Guardian maps, and also the quantity on it really affects the number of and splinters, so try to get as much quantity on the invitation as possible. It's worth using either Chaos Orb to rule them or Scour and Alchemy to get at least 60%. If you can get 80%, even better. Well, it always depends on your build, but still. And if you ever run out of Guardian maps, just go back to the step 1, running City Square and boss rushing. Hope this was helpful. Of course, this is not the only thing I did to get to 2000 divines. I will come up with the other parts in the coming days. But for now, hope it helped you. And as always, take care, guys.